Ooh.
Great.
Okay. Hello, people.
Hello.
Interwebs. We are here today to talk about Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. See, you have a different cover than I do.
I have the fancy Afterlife one.
I have the sprayed edges one, but
It is sprayed edges.
Yours is different.
I'm gonna rub it.
Yeah, it's very different.
Well, guys have copies and I don't.
And then there's Sam like, I ain't got none of that.
And hers is hardcover. Mine's not hardcover.
Yeah, I waited it out. I could have bought the release, but then and Immigrate were like, we're gonna release this, and I was like, yeah, I'll wait for that one.
Oh my goodness.
They're gonna do the same with the newer one as well. They're literally, I think next week it goes on sale. Problematic Summer Romance, that one.
Oh. Yeah. I have the new Love Hypothesis, the collector's edition.
Yeah, they've just been releasing that around here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why couldn't they put all of these books in hardcover first? Because they would have been gorgeous.
That's how they get the monies.
Whatever. All right. Are you ready to
also,
do your...
shall I show you the pictures that are on the... Because there's artwork as well. I don't know if you have artwork, and there's that one.
Oh, see, I don't have that kind of artwork. I have this kind of artwork. Where they're like in the pool.
And then there's this one on the other side.
Yeah, I don't have.
And there's also on the actual naked hardback, wet floor.
If that's what they want to call it nowadays. Are we ready for the dramatic synopsis?
Oh, yes. Okay. Scarlett Vandermeer is swimming upstream. A junior at Stanford and a student athlete who specializes in platform diving. Scarlett prefers to keep her head down, concentrating on getting into med school and on recovering from the injury that almost ended her career. She has no time for relationships. At least, that is what she tells herself. Swim captain, world champion, all-round aquatics golden boy Lucas Blomqvist thrives on discipline. It's how he wins gold medals and breaks records. Complete focus with every stroke. On the surface, Lucas and Scarlett have nothing in common until a well-guarded secret slips out and everything changes. So they start an arrangement, and as the pressure leading to the Olympics heat up, so does their relationships. It was supposed to be just a temporary, mutually satisfying fling, but when staying away from Lucas becomes impossible, Scarlett realizes that her heart might be treading into dangerous water.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So what format did everybody read it in?
I physically with this one.
Yeah, I had checked out the book from the library, so I physically read it.
I also had the audio book. So physical and audio.
What was the audio like?
It's not bad. You can definitely tell that there is, because there's two different narrators, and you can tell when they do, because the one, like for the guy almost has like the Swedish accent type. So you can tell he's very disciplined.
Is it just for like when he speaks that the man narrates?
Sort of. Because I don't think he has any.
Because he does, yeah. Because that's why I wondered. Like two voices. Like how would they do that?
Yeah, because the only time you get his point of view is at the end in the epilogue.
Yep. Yeah, so it's mostly his dialogue, and the epilogue, I think, is in his his voice.
Does he sound sexy on the audiobook?
I mean, he's okay. It works for the
Well, as in,
story.
like, does it work with the character? Is like what I mean, because obviously, you know.
Yeah, it works because he's got the accent. I don't know if it's a proper like.
Because you know, like if you physically read it and you kind of like vision their how they would speak, don't you? So like, or is that just me? Like,
I try to.
I try and hear their voices like as I'm reading physically. So I just want to know like what it's like on the audiobook to see if it actually matched what I would imagine he would have.
See, I have a hard time like hearing how their like voices are in my head, so I didn't have a Swedish man's voice in my head while I'm reading this.
You just picture Alexander Skarsgård. You'll be fine. It's kind of what it sounds like, but very
I
like.
just realised your husband is wearing a very bright shirt, Sam.
He is. Yes.
We call that highlighter yellow.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the highlighter yellow.
What did we all rate the book?
I did 3.5.
It feels like a 4 for me for this one.
I gave it a 5.
It's like I thought it was all right, and it kept me engaged enough, so I gave it like a half-star bump up. But it probably, if I really like thought about it, it could be a 4. Like it's leaning more towards a 4, but I'm gonna stick with my 3.5.
I also tried to compare with the other books that I've read or we've read from as well, because obviously I really enjoyed Love Hypothesis and also the other one that we read, Love Theoretically, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just really like my star rating, so.
But yeah, I think it feels like a 4 for me. It's good. 4's good anyway.
Wow.
I always like to wait for that. Like if I'm reading a romance book, I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. That's when I kind of like give it a 5.
Yeah, I don't think like strictly contemporary romances for me will ever get a 5, to be honest. They're just like 3 is like my standard middle of the road. It's like I liked it enough where I kept reading, but I wasn't wowed by it. And it got the half-star for me because I read it, I think, within like 3 days. The writing kept me engaged enough that I just wanted to sit and read it. So I gave it that bump up. But overall, I'm just not that much of I read the contemporary romance. I don't love contemporary romance, if that makes sense.
Fair. Fair. We do have some comments. People coming in to bump the like button or boop the like button. Paula's here, also doing the same, saying hello and booping the like button. She hasn't read the book.
I haven't read it. How? No excuse.
We highly recommend
two
that
strikes.
you try to read it.
Next time. Otherwise, 3 strikes and you're out.
And that's what she was saying. What's next month so I can try to get it on my TBR?
Oh, well. We'll reveal that at the end.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to watch
the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is part of a series. So if you haven't read the From Blood and Ash series, you probably won't be able to.
Yeah, read From Blood and Ash at least.
If you're not here at the end, I will send you a message. Just let me know.
Or just come back later.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if she stays tuned, we'll say. But if she's
back
not
later.
Here, yeah. Characters. What do we think about our characters in this one?
I like them more than I think the ones, what was it, like Love on the Brain that we had read? I found them more relatable than them.
I already forgot the characters' names. I remember bits and pieces of the story, but not the characters.
Yeah. That one was what the diabetes rep in it. And then she was the fake girlfriend.
Yes.
I get the fake girlfriend stuff.
I do like that this one had mental health rep because she had like psychiatrist or therapist visits and
Of like PTSD, yeah.
mhm, all because of the injury that she had from doing her dives. So that I liked, but the characters, I don't know. I like the main character. For most of the book, I did not like Pen. I don't know why.
She's a very strange character.
Pen.
Like, why would you like, why would you just be like, you two, why didn't you just like have sex,
That caught me off guard actually because I was just like
what?
party and she's like 3 sheets to the wind like that and she's just like, why don't you guys? And I'm like,
Yeah, like literally she just ends it and then she's like, well, you two seem more suited, so
yeah.
She was a bit of an odd friend.
See, and I think that is kind of one reason why I kind of kept the book at a 3.5 because I was just already so suspicious of her from the get-go. It's like I knew she was going to cause problems. So when it was revealed that she actually caused a problem, I was not surprised in the least. So I'm like, yeah, I guess the plot. So I'm not thrilled about that.
Yeah, especially when like those girls were like, "Oh, you should be careful of her," and like they were kind of like already trying to warn Scarlet.
Well, I was even like suspicious of her well before those like girls were introduced.
Yeah, I was suspicious when she was like, "Oh, well, we're not dating anymore," but she kept going to him as if they were putting on the show that they were dating still. And I was like, "Why? Why does it matter?" I was like, something's fishy.
Yeah, she was a bit odd. But I liked the two main characters. I like Scarlet and I like Lucas.
Lucas.
But I think I like him because he's I don't know, he's always like, even though they've got this arrangement, like he's always cared for her. Like, he helped her with the PTSD thing, with the diving, and like certain things that he does, like, is quite caring.
It was a little
and
creepy
like
sometimes.
I don't know, the little always used to make me laugh, but when he used to always call her troll.
Yeah.
That, yeah. And he always seemed to like be there.
There was a bit near the end that he was like, "That's because you're like my kinky little troll." It just like little things like that just made me laugh. So yeah, like he's just
But he could be creepy too at the same time. Because something would happen and he's automatically there. Or they'd say, "Oh, do you know about blah, blah, blah?" And he'd go, "Yeah, I know." How do you know?
Or the just standing there and staring.
Yes.
I'd be like, don't make me throat punch you, because if you do that to me, I'm going to throat punch you.
Why are you staring at me? Yeah, so Scarlet was good. Lucas was good. Pen was sketchy.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was thinking that. Like, wasn't giving off good friend vibes for the majority of the book.
And I am really reluctant to really talk about like our sex life to anybody. So just when she threw it out in the prequel about how she's feeling, it's like, how long have you known these people? And how close are they to you both? Why are you having this conversation out in public at a table with people that, like, yeah, you're teammates, but that they have nothing to do with the situation?
Exactly.
Oh, I like Lucas's brother as well. Is it Jan? I want to say.
Oh, Jan, I think is how it's pronounced in the audiobook.
Yeah, it probably would be Jan. Yeah, he seemed quite funky brother.
They
Almost like
all
that cool uncle vibe.
Mm. And the little background and like how like each brother did something different, but yet the father was so proud of all of them equally.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, maybe that's just the way they are. So we have a favorite character or least favorite character.
I think we all agree Pen. It's probably the least.
Yeah,
I think
trying to
I
think.
like Scarlet the most because she
Yeah,
seems
I
the
think
most
I would say
relatable.
Scarlet. But yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Scarlet, yeah, is the most favorite one. Like I said, Penn was kind of sketchy. I'm trying to think of some of the other girls because we really don't get a lot of detail from the other girls.
No. They're just typical bitchy diapers.
Background characters, yeah.
Mm.
Or that one, I forgot her name, but you only saw her in the one scene where she was sitting at the table with Lucas, and then all the other people came up, and there's one girl there, and she was like giving Scarlett the side eye, like, "Why are you sitting over here?"
Yeah, I think she was supposed to be one of like Lucas's friends from the swim team or something like that.
Or I think she was one of Penn's friends or something. Like they were
I think I
acquainted.
know who you're on about. They
Yeah,
were like near the beginning, but I can't remember what their name is. Was it like Liz or something? I can't remember.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Victoria?
I think Victoria was on the swim team. I
Who
have to
am I
go back
thinking
and
of?
find where it was, but she gave me sketchy vibes too. It was like it doesn't matter.
I found them being more of like since they were used to Penn being around, like hanging with Lucas, and how they weren't aware of them breaking up. They were more suspicious of the fact that he was with another girl, kind of thing. Which I
True.
think everyone will give like anyone like a side eye if they thought they were like still in a specific relationship.
There's so many things going
I like
on.
how she's never ever called Scarlet though. It's always Vandy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Ben.
that's the thing with sports though, is they always go by last name for some reason.
Other than Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas.
I think it also depends on how difficult the last name is to pronounce.
Vandermeer. They
Yeah,
probably just
they'd
shortened
have to shorten his like Bloomy or something. Bloomster.
it. Yeah, they could have just called him
Because they
Bloom.
can't just go like, how's it pronounced in the audiobook? Do they pronounce it like Bloomfisk?
It was Bloomfist.
Bloomfist.
Bloomfist. Bloom. Yeah, something like that.
It just sounds like that whatever meal that Count Olaf and the series of unfortunate events try to get the kids to make. It's like some fish stew or whatever. Something Fisk. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's where his last name reminds me of.
Oh, Count Olaf.
I've read that series. Oh,
No.
I think I almost completed the whole series. I think I'm just like missing the last few books.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I got to like 11 out of 13, and then I somehow stopped, and now I'm like, okay, I need to reread them all again. Although most of them I can kind of remember what happened because they're all themed to
yeah,
the book title. But
I was like binging them a couple of years ago and like listening to the audiobooks, and for some reason ended up, I guess I got tired of like reading them. So I'm like, okay, it's time to stop.
no, I read all of them.
Ooh.
I was like, nope, one and done. What did we think about the plot of the story?
I like the side story of like the you know, the trauma of like her accident. I like all that stuff.
Good representation.
Like learning about that sort of thing I really enjoy. But the plot, I mean, the rest of the plot really is just like BDSM.
Well, I felt, just based on like kind of my experience reading, like going through Katie Roberts' books right now, I felt like Allie's representation of the community was a good intro into that. Because just the way that like a lot of the consent and the like them making up the list of things that they're interested in is what healthy relationships and starting in that kind of community is. So I felt like that was done really well.
There was a scene where he was, I can't think of how many times he said it, but he was like, you know the word, right? Stop. Yeah? Stop. The word. What is it?
Say?
He said it probably about 10 times. I was sort of like, I think she gets it. But yeah, like it was nice that they had that safe word.
Yeah.
I also felt like she was using it as more of a teaching tool for everybody else who is new into like that world, really laying it on thick that consent is the main thing.
Yeah.
With the whole thing. It's like there's no assumed consent on anything. You have to be vocal about what you are wanting and what you don't want.
Yep. If we say stop, then we stop. Then we go from there. And I also like that they did have the lists so that they could learn what each other are into. Although she didn't get to read his list because he just like laid it on her after reading hers. And they were in a study room of no less. I was like, damn, I thought this was just going to be like we're learning about each other, not physically learning about each other. You said fill out the list. You have to read each other's list first. But it did feel kind of like I'm trying to figure out like 50 Shades of Grey, but not as hardcore.
Yeah.
Very soft about it. Very
like it was there, but like not like yeah.
There's no red room.
Well, no
game room.
Yeah, from what I've heard about 50 Shades of Grey, just from because I watch some like sex education videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and from what I heard from them, 50 Shades is not what you need to base your kink stuff. That's way not realistic, and it's actually really dangerous if you try to base that type of relationship off those books. So they absolutely put a hard line, do not do that or you're gonna get arrested.
Yes.
But yeah, I like the diving aspect of it, and learning about the different types of because I don't dive, so learning all the different types of
You can't even get me on a regular diving board at the pool.
Yeah, I would never be able to. So
you're lucky I can walk around a swimming pool. Okay, so I'm not diving or swimming for gold medals anytime soon. I probably never will. But it's interesting to read about. A lot that goes into it and the different competitions and what's required of them and that kind of thing.
Especially when they got to the bits where it was like, oh, I know personally that I didn't do that dive well, but then they somehow scrape through because this other person, things like that, and the point system, and so it's just all of that. And then also the traumatic thing that happened with her with the accident and how she's overcoming it slowly. That sort of part of the plot I really liked. Because it's
Okay,
almost like you're going along with Scarlet as well.
I agree. Writing style. What
I like
do
the
you
writing
think
style.
Right. I like it. It's no different than any of the other Ali Hazelwoods, so
No, they're quite easy to read and understand.
they are.
Yeah. The pacing is good enough to keep me engaged in it and not be bored. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I like the pacing that it keeps your interest, and she's also thrown in like the different types of like
Hello.
sciences and STEM and Hello Kitty.
Do you have something to say?
Did
Do you
read
like
the book too?
BDSMs?
What was our favorite part of the book?
I think when she like finally made up her mind about what she wanted, like relationship wise with him, and went over to Sweden,
Yeah.
and the whole joking about midsummer.
That was nice to see too, being that he's from a different background than she is. You were able to see both sides, and she traveled to go to him. I'm trying to think of like the other scenes. I mean, spicy scenes are always nice, but I'm trying to think of like not like beyond the spice.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Being when Scarlett and the few times that she went to go see her professor, those were kind of interesting too. I forget the professor's name, but like, it was interesting that she went to go see him and he gave her like you could be on like a research team, and then it just so happens that Lucas was on that team.
Yeah.
It was meant to be, I guess.
I like the scene where like she's like Cation saying that like that he's just bought her Duolingo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny.
She finally aces German and she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
now you get to learn Sweden.
Yeah, it's like now you can learn some Swedish. But even when there's scenes where like there's like words she was like, yeah, that wasn't covered in Duolingo.
What is that?
No.
What is our
But no, there's the scene where he literally is just like, oh well, maybe we should be in a relationship. I remember like literally out loud being like, oh.
Yeah. They could blame it on Penn. You two should get together.
And now she's like, what?
He's like, now kiss.
That was the one thing too, though, that like Penn wanted them to get together because she knew their dirty little secrets, but at the same time, like, she got mad when she found out that they were actually together. And it's like, but you wanted them to be together. But she wanted them to just be like fuck buddies in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
like what's the difference? They were pretty much together anyway, like all the time.
yeah. That's why I liked the conversation that they had when she found out, and she was like, "Oh, I feel so betrayed. You guys have been together this whole time." But he was like, "But you wanted us to be together." One way or the other, ma'am. Least favorite part.
I think it's just with the whole thing with Penn, since I already knew what was going on. I'm like, really? This is how we're gonna be? I was hoping that my guess wasn't gonna be correct, but
Petty Penn.
Yeah.
Yes. I was wondering what route they were gonna take with that character. I'm glad that it worked out in the end, but at the same time, I was just like, I don't like where this is going. Would you reread it? I would.
Maybe in like a few years' time.
Yeah, same.
Not like immediately, but if I'm craving an early Hazelwood book.
You can sit by the pool and read it.
Yeah, like if I want to reread a nice BDSM romance.
Would you buy it for someone else?
I would if they like romance. They're
It's
into
really
romance.
person.
No.
Would you buy it for your husband, Sam? Would you buy it for yours, Alicia?
I mean, as long as he takes care of the book, he could read my copy.
No.
I mean, Jordan doesn't like read, so it would be pointless. I'll be just more like buying the book for myself. So
Same. Alan's like, well, I never got really into reading. And I'm like, that's not an excuse. Try again.
No.
Would you read it or not? No, probably not.
I was gonna say, like, with both of you, like, did you ever? I don't know. What did you think way back in the early days, like when obviously you found out they didn't have exact hobbies like reading?
I didn't really think much of it because both me and him enjoy video games, even though we tend to play the different video games. Like I'm more of like the simulator type of games, like Sims, like city builders and stuff like that, and he's more into like Skyrim and like the shooter games. But like I will sit there a lot of the times doing my hobbies while he's playing games, so it's really we're in essence still spending time together in the same room, but we're doing different things. So
That's
But
kind
before
of
you like lived
similar.
together or anything, like, did you ever like struggle to connect hobbies?
not really, no.
No, for me and Alan, I mean, he's 2 years older than I am. So,
Because he's 2 years old.
no.
So,
He's
so
2 years
Alan's
older
like 2 years old
than I am, yeah.
in the
So,
brain.
but we were friends before we dated and got married. So, we were always never really near each other until after we got married, if that makes sense. Because it was always long
Yeah.
distance where he was in the military. So, and then it was just kind of like if we could be in the same room and do our own thing, he'd play video games and I would read, or I would play video games and he would just go, well, what about that? You could
No.
tell me. He'd go over there.
No.
Okay, fine. We still kind of do the same thing. Like afterwards, I'll probably go sit in the living room while he plays his game and I'll diamond paint.
Yeah, he does listen to me ramble about my hobbies a lot of the times because I'll be like in the craft section and he's just throwing out ideas at me. Like first time going into a yarn store, made like him and a friend of ours go with me, and his friend had no idea what was going on, but Jordan was walking around the store with me like he did the hobby with me the entire time. I taught him how to knit once, and he made a coffee cozy for his mom, and then that was it. And same thing with going to a bookstore. He's like pointing out certain books, and he's like, "Oh, this looks cool. This looks cool."
Like, oh, you read it then.
I feel like Alan and Jordan would be like the supporters of our hobbies. As long as we support theirs, they support ours.
Yep.
And we used to do it too, where like Alan does like solid waste stuff. So if I went to an event for his, then he knows that he would have to go to one of my like bookish events. And so it like evens out.
Yeah.
So it works. But no, I cannot. I can tell him about the books I read, but he does not want to read them. I'm like, fine.
Half the time, I don't do a very good job about like really explaining the book, so he just kind of looks at me like, "Okay, sure."
Did you like it?
Because it's more like my like word vomiting is like I need to get this out of my head before it goes drives me crazy.
Same.
Well, Jordan's in like all of our lives anyway.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
He knows what we're like.
Would we read another book by the author?
I mean,
we've
yeah.
talked about so many already, so
yeah.
And I can't wait for the new ones to come out. Like Mate comes out, I think, in October, November.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one because I did actually really enjoy Bride.
I did too. Would we like another book from this world?
Honestly, it just felt like more like one and done type of thing. So I'm fine with not having another one.
There's not enough side characters for there to be another story of, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know who else they would.
I wouldn't want a book from Penn.
I had enough of her in this book, so I don't need it.
That's what I mean. Like, she was really the only other. I mean, I can't really do another story of the brother.
No, because wasn't all of his brothers married anyway?
Yeah, they're like old, like way older and stuff.
Yeah, because I think there was like some that was like 10 to 15-year age gap.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it
so
might have been Yan that was like the next youngest by 10 years, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, there's not really a way to do another book.
No, because there just wasn't another character to do a story with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so in answer to that, no.
What books would you recommend that are similar? I mean, any.
I don't really know of any books that have diving in. I've not really read any contemporaries with diving.
If you're going like sports, probably like the Pucking Around, considering how like it also has kind of like the kink stuff in it as well. Mm-hmm. And I only read the first one, so that's as far as I was recommended the first one. But if you're going for more of the like STEM type of stuff, or like more bouncing off of that, definitely her other books. But I would say the Brown Sisters. It's kind of closely, at least with Chloe and Danny. Danny's more in the academics style, but more that's like a less typical type of jobs for a lot of women. I would say the Brown Sisters is a good one, and you also have like the mental health rep with that one.
That's true. Trying to think of if there's any others besides those. I mean, just in general, I mean, you could similar would be any of the Allie Hazelwoods because of the STEM and the romance. Mm-hmm. If you're going mental health reps, then yeah, the Brown Sisters. I'm trying to think of anything else I've read. The Pucking Around series, it depends on how far you're willing to go into reading that. Because I know each book is different. Because the first one is polyamorous. The second one is age gap. And the third one is unexpected pregnancy, I think. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I can only really suggest Pucking Around for that series because of just that one being the only one that I've read, so.
They're all good so far. They're just funky.
If anybody can recommend anything that's swimming, then let us know in the comments.
Let's see.
There's not enough of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't really think of.
Like, not even ones that I haven't read. I can't even really think of either.
Yeah, no. Because all you really see at the moment is like hockey romances.
Yeah.
That tends to be really
Hockey
big at
or
the moment.
football.
There's
I
one
hear more
by
about hockey than I do anything.
Or cowboys. That's what I see a lot of as well.
Yeah, I'm starting to see more of those too.
Or ice skating. That's popped up a bit. So.
ones that I guess would be similar with that include competitive diver or swimming is Swim Team by Johnny Christmas, The 3-Year Swim Club by Julie Checkaway, Diving into Darkness, A True Story of Death and Survival by Philip Finch. That's a nonfiction, though.
That sounds very deep. No pun intended.
Yeah. Some of the books with like athletic themes and forbidden romances is like Perfect on Paper, Sophie Gonzalez, Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, Edge of 18. There's no author for that one.
And that title is very sus.
Edge of 18.
Mm-hmm.
It just says that it features a swim team category. A Long Time Coming by Megan Quinn. So there's a couple of different ones if you're going for like swimming, but yeah, there's a lot more hockey romance and other sports than swimming.
Well, maybe this is an area that romance writers need to do more on.
Maybe this is the beginning.
Put down your sticks and get swimming.
I mean, they could. They have to do it.
Or even other sports.
I was about to say, put down your sticks. That's kind of, that defeats the purpose of these romance books, Katie.
And do we have any other comments?
Speaking of sticks, the amount of times like it was mentioned with his one.
That's what I tend to know.
How big was his penis? The way it's described is like it's huge. Like
that, and like any type of romance book, they overuse the word so much. It's like, I get it, they're in the middle of doing it. I'm pretty sure that appendage is going to be involved. You don't have to say it every other sentence.
Yeah. We know what's going on. You're painting the picture. Just get on with it.
Now you can stop painting the picture with that particular appendage. Use a different body part, please.
We did have other comments along the way. Paul feels the same as Sam. Most romances around 3 stars, but I have been caught by surprise by some 3, 4s, or 5s.
Yeah.
And she's read the first 3.
I think romance is, for me, it's to get a higher score for a romance. It's more like that fantasy romance, or the romantasy is more that I'm leaning towards, because I need more than just the romance in a book.
That's true. Just depends on what you like.
Well, we're technically reading the 4th book in that series, so but then, like, you know, it's up to you if you want to read the spin-off book.
Yeah.
As someone this is the second time I've read the one, I think reading A Shadow in the Ember should be a requirement. Because I just finished it yesterday, and it really freshened my memory of how things go on in that book. So I would really say you're better off reading Shadow and the Ember definitely before War of Two Queens, because there's a lot of information that gets dumped.
There you go. If you can read 2 books in 2 months, because this one we've got 2 months.
I mean, she potentially could. I mean, because she could read.
Depends how big of a reader you are, how quick of a reader.
True. I don't remember how
And
fast
free time.
Paula can read. But yeah, if she could read The Shadow and the Ember and then read this one, then she would be right
Then
there.
by all means, you can make the live.
Mm-hmm.
If not, watch it later. It don't matter.
She's got to go and try to get the kiddo to bed. Have
Yeah.
a great discussion, ladies. Thank you, thank you. We had Elena pop in and say hello.
Hello.
We also have Courtney. Hello, everyone. I just heard about the all the Allie Hazelwood book talk drama about Hunger Games. Ridiculous and funny.
What's
I don't
that?
know.
So I had to I've only been learning about this within the last few days, but apparently at some sort of book con, they were talking about like one true pairings for different like fandoms. And she made the comment of saying that she prefers Gale over Peeta for Katniss. And heaven forbid a woman have an opinion about relationships in book series about fictional characters. Everyone started bullying her online about it and bullied her so much that she's no longer on social media.
Oh, I heard she came off
Deactivated
social media, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, she
Well, that's
deactivated all of her
silly.
accounts because of that. At some point, some people were giving like death threats to her.
This is
Well,
why I really hate like social media. Like when you know, I've been in it as well. When you're put in a position where you feel like you can't even have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They're fictional characters, everybody. Get over
At this
it.
point, I don't like either of them for Katniss, so they can both go and get sacrificed to other places. So she doesn't need anybody, in my opinion. But
it's the typical YA love triangle. It all happens. It goes away. We're moving on.
I'm more inclined to share her opinion about preferring Gale just to piss people off, because I'm the type of person now I'll just say it to piss people off.
I mean, wasn't Katniss and Gale kind of together before she went into the Hunger Games anyway? So,
or they were heading in that direction, really.
Yeah.
He definitely liked her anyway.
Oh, they need to suck it up, Buttercups.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I see Kitty Tail like a tentacle.
Oh yeah, that was not Meg when she walked across.
Harry is right here too, so
he's right here.
I've only ever read Bride by her.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Kitty.
Hey, hi.
She's like, I'm
sleepy face.
She's like, leave me.
Your tail was famous.
I liked Bride. I
just like really
can't wait to read the sequel. Not into hockey romance. That's okay. There are others out there. All right. Those were caught up on the comments. Do we have any others about Deep End? If not, then we can announce the next book.
Oh, no, I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Nothing insightful will come from this brain at the moment.
I'm thinking and I've got nothing, so I think we've covered everything pretty much. So whose channel is next?
Is it me?
It's not me, because we're here. It's either you or Sam.
I can't remember.
Let me go back to see which one
Is it me or Sam? I can't remember now. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, is it me? And I was like, I could go through the video.
So I did Act to Your Age, Eve Brown.
And then I did Shadow in the Ember, right?
So
I believe
it's
so, because the Act Your Age Eve Brown said streamed 4 weeks ago.
So is it me then? Yeah.
possibly.
Oh yeah, because we had some romance. These were the 2 romances between the fantasy, wasn't it? So it must be moi.
I'm going to your page.
Double
So-
checking.
You're stalking.
But
Yeah,
whoever
you did A Shadow in the Ember. It says streamed 1 month ago.
Oh,
It
Yeah,
seems
'cause I
like
think
we got
we
pretty
did
much
2.
all of the series.
I want to say
series except for the first one.
Yeah, because I think we did 2 in the same month. Because we did 1 in the first Saturday, and then we did Actor Age Eve Brown further in the
Actor Eve.
month. That one.
Actual Eve.
Your Eve Age Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know what you mean.
We have to
English.
give you a hard time because that's just
So
So yeah, you would be doing this one, which is the next book, A War of Two
yes, War of
Queens.
2 Queens. Mine's in the bedroom. I won't show it.
It's back there.
I'm fancy to discuss this because I had an epiphany about one particular scene in the book that I didn't realize was a thing until this reread. And then with Shadow and the Ember being fresh in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I'm antsy about discussing this one.
Well, as always, I'm sure Alicia will have questions.
I always do.
Yeah.
I find that, like, if I read, like, something like this, I'm fine. There's no questions to be had.
No.
You give me a fantasy one, and I've got questions.
Especially if it's a series, like, because that's when there's questions.
Yep.
Because a standalone, it's normally wrapped up, isn't it?
Mhm.
Most of the time.
Yeah, for the most part.
Unless they leave it with an open ending, then it's like, for God's sake.
Yep. So now I'll probably have questions that I'll have to remember to write
Yes.
down.
But this one, we're pacing it over 2 months, so it's...
Yes. So
Because I found with the Shadow and the Ember, I was stressing to try and get it done in that month.
Well, now you won't have to worry because it's
No,
2
yeah,
months,
so, yeah.
and it's sometime in August.
Half
right?
this month and then half next month and then around the 20s somewhere. 2 months from now, anyway.
I know we
On the Saturday, it will be shared.
I know we picked a date. I just don't remember what date. I
I
want to say
can't
it was
remember.
either was it the 16th or the 23rd?
It's normally around the 20s, I think.
So possibly the 23rd.
Yeah.
So sometime in late August.
I have the 23rd listed on my.
Ooh, I remembered it then.
Well done. Yeah,
We'll
because
be
I'm pretty
reading-
sure, like, the day after, you were like, what was the date again? Then we wrote it. You were like,
Anyway.
I'm putting
wrote
it in my
down,
planner.
then I had it. That's
So,
usually
yeah.
how it is. If I don't write it down right away, then I just go, what was it? And then I write it down and I'm like, okay, I got it. We're good.
So I think I'll find a halfway chapter through the book to get to.
Let's see.
I haven't started it yet, so and we're already near the end of June. I don't know.
I don't know if yours.
So I might maybe like in a month's time, and then I've got another month to get the other half done. I'll probably do it that way. That way I can retain the information of the book well to discuss as well.
I do have to warn you that this is a split POV. You go from a single POV from like the first 3 to a split POV in this one now.
Oh.
That way you're not jarred.
Mine is 612 pages, so the halfway point would be 306.
What chapter's close to that? It's probably we've got the same roughly pages anyway.
Yeah, I think the library copy I got was like 318, if I'm remembering.
Well,
That's not
306 is in the middle of a chapter. So, but at 311, there's a picture, and that's the end of a chapter.
Well, let's do that one then.
So that would be the end of 24.
24. 24 it is.
I'll probably read it in a week. I have the audiobook.
Just keep the question.
write down your questions.
Be
Yeah.
sitting there reading, listening, and typing.
Yeah, don't listen at like 2 point whatever speed. You want to log it all.
I probably will, and I'll have to go pause. Okay. But anything else?
Because even when with my first read through and this read through, the ending pulled some emotion out of my cold, dead heart.
Oh my god. It's a
My
miracle.
God, now there's going to be emotions involved.
Yes.
I can't.
And it's just like, if it could make Sam cry, what's it going to do to me?
I'm going to be a blubbering mess if she cried.
I teared up. I didn't boo-hoo, so I teared up.
Oh.
It was a tear. I always think a book's very good if it can make you cry. If it can actually make you either cry with happiness, cry with tears, or like have a sigh of like, whoa, that was good. You know, that's when I give it like a ultimate.
Yeah. It definitely kept its 4.5 star rating for me. So
No pressure. Oh my gosh. All right. If there's nothing else.
No. No.
No. Nothing.
nada.
No, I think we'll. Yeah.
All right. Well, then stay tuned for August's discussion on A War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout, book 4 in the From Blood and Ash series, which will be on Katie's channel. We'll have the links and all that stuff posted, so stay tuned. Say your goodbyes. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us and discussing, and we shall see you next time.